Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. I'm GetGoodGuy, and Battlefield 5 recently had its second big update of January 2019, which we aren't used to, so that's pretty cool. And it's had some people saying it's been a fantastic patch, and others saying it's caused new ridiculous bugs, plus then a few what I'm going to call sleepy bills saying, oh, there was a patch? So is the update good or a buggy mess? Well, that's what I'm here for today, to break it down for you and explain the key changes and issues, as well as go over where this leaves us with Battlefield 5 and what still needs to be addressed moving forwards. Because the truth of the matter is that in terms of it being good or a buggy mess, it's in between, or I guess both. Kinda like if your mum brings home an awesome new pet each month, but regardless of whatever animal it is, it just periodically vomits on your feet. Like even if 1 month it's just a small bird. There can't be much wrong with that, right? Actually no, there's still more foot vomit. So I'm not going to be biased, that's not what we do around here. Westy can keep his shilling crown, he deserves it. I'm just joking, Cameron, I love you really. Enjoy your corporate money. That's also a joke. Leave Westy alone. Or don't, it's up to you. Anyway. But let's handle the good stuff first, and there's quite a lot of it. This was a pretty extensive update, and I'll kick off with movement. It's better, and I mean much better in my opinion, a sentiment I'm also seeing echoed by a lot of other players. There appears to be a lot less getting stuck on parts of the environment, and just general improvements to how you can control your soldier as you traverse the map. There's better recognition of the type of surface you're on. This has been achieved in a few ways, but the main thing that's had a positive impact for me is the jumping and vaulting recognition. There's been huge improvements as far as this is concerned. So there's a whole lot less mantling when you're simply wanting to jump. Previously, hitting jump on stairs or slight inclines caused you to mantle, well, the air, I guess. You mantled the air, somehow. I tried to simulate the movement and it was extremely unsuccessful. And people laughed at me, but I probably shouldn't have done it in public. But regardless, instances of this occurrence seem to have been eradicated or at least massively reduced. And this is a great change. Problems like that seem small, but the longer you play the game for, the more issues like that just grind on you. And I don't need things grinding on me unless it's your mum. It's a mum joke. I hope you enjoyed it. So I'm happy to see that problem go. Plus there just appears to be better recognition of when you're actually trying to mantle something, which has me super excited as I hopefully won't now be repeatedly bouncing my face off the top of the window frame anytime I try to jump through it. And I guess as not everyone is a Battlefield fanatic consuming all of the content that they can, I should at least briefly go over additions that I covered in my patch notes video. So with that in mind, and with movement being our focus, the ledge grab animations have been improved. Here's the footage DICE put out before the patch. Essentially there's now a shorter animation for ledge grabs from small jumps and falls, so that's a great addition. And the longer ledge grab animation has been cleaned up to be less jarring, as it was ridiculous before. It was like your soldier was made out of a mixture of rocks and elastic bands, which doesn't make for a particularly expert climber. Then we come to bipods. Some would claim this is the opposite of a movement update. Ew, that's a camping joke, but but anyway, sorry, that's entirely off script. But anyway, there's been significant changes made here. The most entertaining one for me being that you can now go, oi mate, come and be a table for me. And bingo, you can use your bipod on a crouching teammate. I don't care if this causes some people to say DICE are wasting time on stupid additions, I think it's hilarious. Plus, it was actually a tactic that was used in World War II, so all you historical accuracy buffs can really get your rocks off on that one. But there's more. The basic bipod mechanic has been improved. It now doesn't detach in a super erratic fashion by moving it around, and the game just does a better overall job of recognizing when your weapon can be bipoded. So this should be a whole lot less frustrating for both tactical bipod users and hill humpers alike. Moving on, spawning in works much more consistently now, and thank God for that because it was driving me crazy. You can't spawn on your teammate. This spawn location is no longer available. Your belt buckle violates the server rules. Your dad told me not to let you spawn here, etc, etc. So far, all this seems much better, which is great because it's another frustration that just builds and builds. So it being sorted out just takes a whole lot of the irritation away. Nobody wants to fight just to spawn in when they've just died. We're already mad about our plummeting KD. Let us raid spawn for God's sake. So now you can, which is good stuff. Next up, the user interface is actually back in front lines. Yay, my favorite game mode actually works again. I'll show you here how the screen on front lines looked before the fix. Notice there's no indication of what's going on, no objective info, no timer, nothing. And this is now after the patch. All that stuff has returned. Thank you DICE. Playing an hour-long frontlines game without knowing how long has passed or is left wasn't the best gaming experience of my life. But let's briefly hit on the new yellow healing bar. Yep, your health now turns yellow when you're healing. I really like this. I know it seems minor, but it's a great indication that your heal pouch is actually working, or that a medic has healed you from a distance. It's just better, more obvious feedback. A good simple change that I'm right behind. And on the matter of good simple changes, there's now a slider for aim assist, or what is just aim assist slowdown in multiplayer. So you no longer have to simply choose between off and on. Pretty cool addition, just to make things more accessible to the player and let them tweak their experience to how they like it. Now personally, in terms of how we like it, I want more hellhounds and bikini wearing zombies. So if you guys at DICE could work on that for the next update, that would be great. Onwards, the problem with the transition between the kill cam and the bleed out screen has been remedied. It no longer takes 3 or more seconds, so that's nice. But it's still kind of jarring to me and could certainly be improved more so. It just doesn't feel smooth. Not something I expect in a AAA game, but it's passable at least, and you won't be wasting so many seconds staring at nothing happening anymore. Now let's talk Panzer Storm. It got a facelift, and it's better now. Proof that everyone should get a facelift. No, but really, it's an improvement. I'm not going to go over all the changes in detail, as I did that in my patch notes video, and it's just too much to cover again. But essentially, it's now less stupidly open. There's more cover, more points of interest, more variation in height of field perimeters, etc, etc. So you have more chance to actually move around and survive, even if you aren't in a vehicle. I personally really like that DICE grabbed a map that they recently released, looked at community feedback and their own data, and decided it just wasn't working out. They gave it a shake-up, and now we have an improved experience. And so for all the negatives that get talked about, that doesn't mean we should throw away all the positives, and this is a positive, so fair play to DICE. That said, it's still not the map for me. One, because I prefer smaller game modes so far in BF5, and Panzer Storm doesn't feature, or at least doesn't feature in Frontlines or Squad Conquest, which is what I'm usually playing. And two, it's just still huge and open, even with the changes. If someone can camp a mile away and shoot at me, or I can be shot from 9 billion directions just because I'm trying to play the objective, then that's just not going to make me happy. Purely a personal choice. Those of you who enjoy the map, that's awesome, and I hope these changes have only made it even better for you. And I'd also just like to tack on that from my own experience, there just seems to be a lot less bugs and glitches that we had before, now breaking up the experience. That's not to say there aren't new ones being reported, of course. Remember the foot vomit, always remember the foot vomit. But as we're talking about the good stuff right now, it's for sure a positive to see some of the persistent frustrations get cleared up. And there is another fairly major change, but I haven't actually checked this one out yet. So I guess we could do that together, like a date. Wanna go on a date with me to the practice range? We'll take a look at how DICE have improved it from its previously underwhelming state. If not, then just skip ahead to where I'm no longer in the practice range, and you'll find me talking about the negatives of the update, and then what we're still missing, suffering from, and what should be added to the game in future. Our overall health checkup of Battlefield 5. Well, hi, you're looking ravishing. Thank you for joining me on my offer of a date, all of you. I'm dating all of you at once. I know you're all so special. Let's get on with this. Don't want this video to be too long. So, basically, we're going to focus on this. It's all I care about. For the open range, God, this guy's loud. Hold on. Right, now he's finished shouting. What we're going to do is go down here to the shooting practice, because that's what I really want to do. That's all I'm really here to do. And I'll show you what's new. I'm rhyming. You're lucky. You're welcome, etc. Oh, God. I'm okay, just about. So as you can see here, my lovelies, we now have gadget practice. So you can alter what these do, etc. And then pull out our little things and stuffs and shoot and miss. Obviously, I was just pretending to miss, so now we're definitely going to hit the tank. Told you, I'm a god. So that's a cool little addition. You're going to spend, what, maybe like a minute there, most of you. It's that's about it. But it's a thing, so, you know, enjoy your thing. Now we have grenade practice. So you put these barrels on, you throw your nades at them. There you go, bada bing, bada bum. That's going to blow that up in a second. See, psychic, ready? Kaboom. So that's another cool little thing where you're going to spend another minute or so. They're not the biggest improvements, if we're completely honest, but, you know, at least it's stuff, which no one's going to use, but it's stuff. Now this one I like. So you can move the target back and forth, a bit like it was before, but now you can turn on the bullet tracers, or whatever they're called. I can't really remember what they're called, but basically, kaboom, look at that. Now that's cool. That I like, dude. That I really like. Turn it back off again. Oh, they remain there whether you turn them off or on. Okay, how do you clear them? Can I clear them? No clearing them. Okay, well anyway, let me grab a different gun. Alright, we're taking a Selbst ladder. You still can't put specializations on them, which is annoying, but I assume that'll be coming soon. But regardless, now... Okay, it's not even on. Come on, get good. Work it out. I thought I turned it back on. Oh, whatever. Maybe it just resets after each time you go over there. Regardless, look at this. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool for testing your aim, testing the bullet drop, testing what the guns do. If you're a content creator, maybe you can get those into your videos at some point. I think that's pretty excellent. So that's just, it only works if you stood over here. Okay. So oh God, I keep discovering new, wait, is it now not working? Hold on. Wait, does it just turn itself off? Okay, colour me slightly unimpressed with how it works, to be honest, but fine, at least it's another thing. And now this one's pretty balling, I would say. Skeet shooting. So I came over here and tried to change weapon, and now I've got half a shotgun. Well, maybe a third of a shotgun, so that's cool. Will it still fire? Yes, awesome. This game is flawless, just so you're all aware, absolutely flawless. Anyway, what I was trying to show you was the skeet shooting over here. So you got different difficulties. For God's sake, man. Okay, someone really needs to take another look at this practice range and just sort it all out. But anyway, alter all this, set these off, kaboom, skeet shooting. It's pretty cool. I quite like that. That's pretty balling. You might spend, 5 minutes here, possibly. I don't know. Look, none of this is going to keep you here for very long, but it's better to have stuff than to not have stuff. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I think that concludes our date. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll kiss you later or something. I don't really know what I'm on about. Let's go, oh, can we get up there? Cool. Let's go back to the actual scripted stuff where I'm not saying random things to you. But if you enjoyed your date, you should definitely call me. So now let's get to the less positive stuff that I've experienced. The Killcam still doesn't function as I think it should. It just doesn't give you the information you need, and sometimes straight up just doesn't work at all. It just doesn't show where the enemy are, or it just looks at the ground. I mean, did I miss some information? Please tell me if I did. Then we have the new heal available notifier. Me no likey. I think it's too much. It radiates out a circle, seemingly whenever you've taken damage and have a pouch available. I get why they're trying to highlight when you can heal, but I find the animation to be so invasive and distracting. We're playing an FPS game where noticing movements and small details can be key, and the game already has pretty poor visibility overall. What I don't need is a pulsing circle distracting me and catching my eye. When that's the most visible movement on screen, it isn't exactly helpful. Not for me anyway. What if I only took a little damage and I'm waiting for my health to regenerate without the pouch? I don't want to sit through that pulsing circle, so at least just toning it down would be a good move in my eyes. And then the other one for me is footsteps, and it feels like I never stop talking about footsteps. I don't want to seem like I just can't be satisfied, and so this isn't a complaint, just a statement. They've been toned down from their super loud previous level, but now I don't hear them particularly well again. I've used sound in FPS games as a key part of my game for years and years and years, and the footsteps are too quiet for me again now. I don't think I've ever had this issue on an FPS game before, but yeah, I said the previous loud footsteps were too loud, but I could cope with it and would happily take that over them being too quiet. And I stand by that now too. That being said, I have seen some people say the footsteps are perfect now, so it's a personal preference thing, and clearly it's not a problem for everyone. It just so happens that I have the wrong kind of ears. And so now, what about problems that have been acknowledged by DICE devs, or ones I've just seen people saying they've experienced? And I have seen video footage of some of these, so they aren't all just simply fabrications. I'll list off the problems I know of so far. There's been issues with some people having missing tiles on the quick search screen, people still having the issue with heal pouches not functioning, people not being able to matchmake properly, an issue with looping sounds when selecting a new objective, black screen when entering matches, getting stuck in the bleed out screen, after a while in the practice range your weapon stops firing, big, and I mean really big frame rate drops, possibly involving vehicles, explosions, or something else, I'm not sure, chat from previous lobbies showing in your current lobby, and frontlines is still missing from the advanced search. I'm sure there will be other problems too, as these are just the ones I've seen in passing, and so it's very much a continuation of the norm for Battlefield 5 here. A new update brings positives, but also new problems. The foot vomit stays around. Let me know in the comments if you've had a problem that I haven't listed, but anyway, overall, I'd say this patch is a net positive. It's improved a lot of things, and I really appreciate how extensive the patch has been. And if you aren't really running into many of the new issues, as I haven't been, then it's a very, very strong positive. So I give the DICE devs some props for that. And so where does this leave us with Battlefield 5? What do we really need now? Well, I'm not going to go into the issue of RSP and all that stuff. There are obviously many things that Battlefield 5 could add that would massively improve things. No, what I'm going to do is just take my own top 3 picks that I think would have a huge impact on the overall experience. Number 1, more maps. We just don't have enough. There's a growing sentiment that the maps are getting stale and we're only 2 or 3 months into the game. This is especially apparent when you consider that not every game mode can utilize every map, such such as I mentioned with Panzer Storm earlier. A bit more variety in the map rotation could go a long way, and this is intensified by how many people dislike playing something like Hamada on Conquest or Fiel on, well, basically anything, because Fiel sucks. Fiel sucks really bad. So new maps soon, please. Number 2, a visibility tweak. I don't want to get into another argument about realism and camouflage and all that. I just want to not be constantly in fear of seemingly moving anywhere. I don't want there to be literally hundreds of places people can lie down or sit in on every map and be totally unseen. It slows down everything, it rewards being super passive, and it's only going to get more frustrating with time, and this is a game after all. It's not an actual war. Soldiers don't actually do 99% of what we do in this game, so the realism argument falls a bit flat for me. Yes, there should be ways to play passively and defensively, but not to this extent. If you want actual evidence that there's a problem, go and watch Jack Frags' recent video about visibility and going prone. It's eye-opening. Nobody can tell me that literally lying down next to people in seemingly plain sight is a genuine war tactic, and it certainly doesn't make for a great gameplay loop. Insert Bird Box Challenge joke here. And then number 3, I desperately want a more effective lobby balancer and the ability to switch teams without having to do some ridiculous workaround. I'm not going to rant here, I just don't want to play endless games where one team wins and the other loses and the game shows next to no interest in switching players around. Not even between games. It's getting tiresome, so let's get this altered soon please. And so, let's conclude. I believe that Battlefield 5 is improving. The updates certainly help, but the constant drawbacks are also hard to ignore. I personally enjoy the game more than most, and I support it, but that's not to say I don't also get frustrated. Here's hoping that things continue to pick up, the PR problems become a thing of the past, and Firestorm in March brings a lot more eyes and interest back to Battlefield. So what do you think about anything I've talked about today? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join my Discord server in the description and my pinned comment. Here's the Board of Awesome for the epic people who support the channel on Patreon. They're all absolute heroes and love them all deeply and, of course, often. If you want to join them on the Board of Awesome, the link to the Patreon page is in the description and my pinned comment. And with that all said, I'm Get Good Guy, and I'll see you next time. Laters.